from deep, deep in outer space to planet Earth, to the red rocks of Sedona, comes a time, an event, a place, a message of making contact.
Next up, we have Sedona's own Starseed child. Bridget Nielsen is actually became known for acknowledging the existence of these hybrid children, and she has now moved that all, I think, into art and creativity and beauty, and is someone who has really integrated those experiences. So we wanted someone here who really represented that field, and she's lovely. And come on up, Bridget. Oh, wait. Steve, anything else I should have said about you?
No, that was great.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, good. Take it away.
Thank you.
She really knows how to make contact.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bridget Nielsen, if you don't know me. And I'm really happy to be here to support Alan and to support Contact and to support the Sedona community. I've been here for over 8 years, and that's not long for some, but to be able to be in Sedona for 8 years is something. There's something to say for that too, right? It's just so beautiful watching Contact and this community grow over the years, so it's really special. After Peter's playing, I'm like not quite fully here. Like, how am I supposed to talk after something like that? I'm off with the angels right now. But to come back in, which is one of the things that I want to talk about, is other forms of making contact. So we have so many tremendous, beautiful ways, like many of you are going to go out and sit under the stars in this amazing dimensional gate. The Sedona vortex it's incredible here. What? Vortices. But we're going to go to the vortex of that particular area. And it's just incredible, and we're so lucky to be able to do this. We're so lucky to be able to travel to sacred sites around the planet and gain access, right, to these higher dimensions and be able to key into them in beautiful ways. And one of the things that I've learned over my decade of exploring spirituality and ET contact is that there's some other secret ways that we can tune in to contact, and we can access our deeper starseed nature to be able to go to these deeper levels. And there's secrets that not a lot of people talk about, and maybe are a little bit strange in the Starseed galactic community, but I feel like that's what I was inspired to talk about. That's what's been coming through for me. So I'm going to start with a story. So back in Los Angeles, at the beginning of my spiritual awakening, which was in the 2008, 2009, something that came through was very much so connected to healing. So I went into different healing work, and I built my clairvoyance and was connecting with my other lifetimes and helping people remove their blocks and doing all of the spiritual things, except for aliens. Like, aliens were like, what is that whole realm? But I was very connected to past lives and angels and all the other stuff, right? But this other thing over here was foreign. And then I had a lot of different awakenings with ETs and different contact experiences that brought it online for me that this is something that's going to be a major life theme, whether I like it or not, right? For many of us, it's like, okay, we're going into the alien direction. And so that's what I did. But one thing that was really cool is because I had this background in healing and this approach to really wanting to better myself and to align more with my purpose and become a better human, I applied that to the ET realm. So I was like, what if I use those techniques with extraterrestrial contact? What will happen? And so I did a lot of different experimentation. And one of the experiments that came about was, at that time, especially in Los Angeles, the lower centers are very active, right? It's a very fiery, sensual place, which is a good thing for Beltane weekend here that we're experiencing right now. And I was like, I want to heal and really activate my lower centers, have a Peter experience, right, where the the orb goes into my wherever, right? Something like that. That's what I was going for. And so my friends had told me about the raw material. Anyone know the law of one? Raw material? Yeah. Classic, right? And they said that the section on sexuality and lower energy centers and aligning the chakras was really powerful. So I was like, okay, let me take a look at this. And I went in one night and started reading the material, and I went in with a sincere volition to heal, to activate, so that I can be more aligned and more whole to be on my mission, right? More integrated. Not just like up here, but like the whole thing, right? And so I read through the material, and obviously it was moving through me. Obviously there was things I didn't understand. It's the raw material, right? It's sometimes challenging to understand all of it fully. And at the end of the night, after I had read the material, that section, I kindly sent a prayer to the raw beings and said, hey, I would like to have this healing. I would like to integrate this self. I would like to embody more of myself. And it just so happened that I went to sleep that night, and in the darkness, in the blackness, I was woken up in the middle of the night, and these beings came in, and they said, keep your eyes closed. We're coming in. You called us in, so we're here. And I saw dozens of light beings coming into the room around me with my eyes closed, so that clairvoyance, they were so bright that it didn't matter if my eyes were closed or open, right, in this kind of experience. And in this experience, they came into the room, and they said, we heard your call, and we're here, and we're going to assist you. And so they said, this is going to hurt, but you asked for this activation, and so it's just going to take a second. And it felt like electric shock going through my sacral chakra. And I was like, wow, this is not what I expected. I wanted an angelic experience. What's going on here? And it was really painful. It was really an intense experience. But after they left, I felt more open, more free, more flow, more energy in my body. And very quickly after this experience, I was called to Sedona. And my entire life changed, and it went in whole new directions. So it totally changed the path of my life, and it totally opened particularly my lower centers so that I could be more grounded. Because the deeper we anchor into earth and the deeper we anchor into our bodies, the higher we can go. It is awesome. Yes. It is a secret that we don't talk about very much because it's so fun and it's so exciting to go directly out that sometimes we forget that if we go deeper, then we can actually go farther out. So I want to break down this experience and reverse engineer a little bit of how it happened so that you can key in and we can key in to how to reenact or have these experiences yourself if we're not always sitting here in the Sedona bored to seize, or we're not sitting here in the sacred sites, around the world if we don't have access to that. How do we do this? The first key was the sincere volition to become a better human, to honor our humanity. And when we honor our humanity, we honor our mission, we honor our choice to come to this planet. And then we can really anchor into that and live our purpose. So it was that sincere volition to want to be of service and to want to become more whole and balanced was the first key indicator, right? It's of service. Because oftentimes ETs are like influencers, like popular people or celebrities where it's like, oh my God, you're like an ET out there and it's so exciting. Or it's like a God, and it's something beyond us. But when we can embody our own God self and our own creator self, we match that vibration and we're that resonance, and then they can come support us. So that was the first key, was the sincere volition to become a better whole human. And then the second key was I asked, right? I was like, hey, you want to come help? Like, can you help? And this is key for two reasons. One, the beings we want to be connecting with, the extraterrestrials, whatever beings, we want them to be operating under free will, right? And so beings that are coming to us without us asking aren't necessarily the beings we want to be connecting with. So it's really important, that free will aspect, and to ask, to invite, because there's beings of all kind, our ancestors, the earth, the angels, the ETs that are so here for us and so got our back, but they need that invitation, right? So that invitation is really important. Obviously, we can have incredible experiences without that verbal or conscious permission because our soul chose coming in to have these certain agreements. So we did do those kinds of agreements. But other ones where they just appear, we got to check in about that. So actually asking and having that free will aspect, the volition and sincerity to be a better human. And then the key in there too was no expectations. At that time, I didn't know and I didn't think that it was a cool thing to have a contact experience. Some of the veterans in the room of contact, it wasn't necessarily the best thing to be having some of these experiences, or it wasn't also a cool thing. In the past 5 years, there's been a shift. Have you guys felt it? This shift where it's actually welcomed, invited, exciting, whereas a decade ago it was you're that weird abductee. Right? It's changed a lot, which is an indicator of the change in consciousness that we now are embracing. So it's a really, really beautiful shift, but it didn't used to be a cool thing. So I didn't know that that's what I was going for. So I went into this experience asking for, whatever was meant to come through, but I didn't have expectation around it. And I had no idea that they were going to come in and shock me and my whole life would change. And so this is a key point, too, is to really have no expectations and to continue to show up. And that's sometimes hard because at the beginning of our awakening journey or the beginning of certain moments on the path with different kinds of dimensions or different kinds of ETs, man, a lot happens and a lot comes through and it's just boom, 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 boom. Wow, this is amazing. And then all of a sudden it maybe fizzles out for a little bit. And those are the moments where we get to, they opened the doors. They gave us the transmissions. They gave us the assignments. We were reminded of our own assignments. And then it's okay, what you going to do with it, right? And that's the moment that we can embrace and we can step into that energy. And when we actualize and follow that energy, we get the next assignment. We get the next step on the journey. So it's important to key into that connection and that understanding. And so as we go forward on this journey, on this path, my invitation and what came through for me to speak about is the profound contact that can be made by doing your human work, by becoming a better person. I've had so many experiences. Some of my best contact experiences are from when I didn't want to say that thing to that guy I was dating, but then I built up the courage and I was actually honest with what was going on. And it was maybe something in my personal life or something where maybe a job isn't working for you. And so you finally have the courage to leave and follow your passion. These very seemingly human, mundane things, when we have the courage to step into them and to pursue that which is our mission and that calling and that fire and that light within us, or to pursue things that are more in alignment, maybe people, maybe relationships, whatever that is, you get rewarded, right? And this is why it's a secret. It's almost like you don't want to know that because then you'll do it so you can get it. And so this is why it's a little secret. I'm letting you in on it, but it's a nice motivational factor, right? It's okay, there's a carrot over there. So I'm giving you this cosmic carrot to being more human, to embracing this planet, because the more that I connect in with the higher cosmic realms, the more honored I am to be an ambassador for this planet. This planet's awesome. It's incredible. And when you think of it that way, where you're wearing a star badge in this life for planet Earth and you're representing it, that's so tremendous. It's so beautiful. And the opportunity we have right now, there's so much beauty happening on the planet. There's a lot of weird stuff happening on the planet. But the more that we step into this and the more that we anchor and honor this, and again, the deeper we go, the higher that we can actually reach and the more contact we can have. And in those moments of integration, as you continue to step forward, you continue to be present for whatever comes up on your path and your purpose. And it sometimes it takes, discipline and continuing to show up, and nothing happens, for a bit and a while, but that reward always comes back. And the funny thing is the more that happens, then you realize that you're walking side by side with these other, conscious beings, and with these aspects of yourself, that it becomes so almost integrated that you don't even realize that it's not something out there, but it's something right here. And then it becomes something right here inside of you. It's all right here in our own bodies. And those have been some of my deepest experiences, is actually accessing contact through the stargate of my womb, through the stargate and the connection in our genetics that we can awaken within us. And that's where our counterparts and where our connections of where we came from as starseeds can be activated and accessed, is often right here in our own bodies. We have spaceships, we have this technology, which is actually incredible. And so the more that we access it and honor it, the more that it'll come alive and support us, and we'll be supported by everything around us, and we'll be supported by what we came in with, because we came in with everything, all the goods, to do what we came to do here. And so it's really just tuning in and really going deep and listening and continuing to show up, continuing to be a good human, continuing to ask, right, for support, and continuing in that alignment that will be the difference to have the fun experiences we're all wanting, right? All of the goodness that we can take pictures of and are incredible. And for us to align with what we came here to do and to be on mission. And it's that continual coming back to alignment. And I feel that that's continuing to anchor deeper into ourselves and root ourselves into the earth and into our missions, so that we can be the best humans we can be, and really bring down all of the starlight, all of the transmissions that we have, and anchor them and transmit them on the planet. That is my invitation, is to ironically become more human, to actually make more contact. Exactly. There we go.
And this is a perfect example of someone who's integrated, and you are reaching the stars and be so human at that same time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and making contact is becoming more of ourselves, because we are of the cosmos.
Yeah.
And no one has told us that, except Bridget, but no one has told us that. No, it's time to know who we really are. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And how can people find you, and what do you do, and how can they do it with you?
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube. I'm starting a podcast as well, so I'll be doing a lot of transmissions through those mediums, so I have more content on those. I do in-person retreats several times a year here and in different places around the planet. And then I do different online programs about awakening our ancestral genetics, which then go all the way to the stars, and integrating as a better human, as I've shared, and connecting with your higher cosmic experiences too. So I have lots of different courses and programs online that you can access to go deeper too.
Bridget Nielsen, you'll find her here in Sedona.